Welcome to the Positively You podcast. I'm your host, Jessie Larson, and I'm passionate about helping you shift the way you think so you can create a life you're absolutely obsessed with. Each week, I'll be bringing you a guest or a thought that's going to help you feel more optimistic and equipped to take real action. Get ready to push past limiting beliefs, ditch that negativity, and start showing up as the best and most positive version of you. Girl, let's do this. Welcome back to the Positively You podcast, your go-to personal development podcast for millennial moms. I'm your host, Jessie, and I am so excited to kick off this new series. We are back from summer break and it is back to school, which means I am coming to you for a back to school success series because we all need some help transitioning, right? As we move from the laid back, sun-soaked days of summer to the more structured feel of the school year, now is the perfect time to put in some systems and strategies to help your home and your family not just survive this year, but truly, truly thrive. I'm going to be sharing some practical tips and some actionable advice to help you create smooth systems and have a stress-free school year, one small step at a time. So today we are going to be starting with our mornings. Surprise, surprise. Today's episode, creating a smooth morning routine for stress-free school days. I'm going to be sharing my top tips for creating a consistent morning routine, how to set a positive tone for the day, and how to kind of get rid of those grumpies. Before you get overwhelmed thinking about all these changes and all these systems and all these strategies to put into place, I want to add my little caveat. And if you have been a longtime listener, you might know what's coming. It's not about perfection. It's not about complete overhaul. It's about progress. So with all of that being said, let's jump into today's episode, creating a smooth morning routine for stress-free school days. I don't know about you, but mornings can be chaotic. But with the right routine and the right mindset, we can turn those into mornings of calm and connection and not feeling rushed. So my summer, I loved. I got like an extra 2 hours of sleep every day. I did not roll out of my bed until at least 8:30. I had lazy mornings. And as school was creeping up on us, I remember thinking, it was like 3 days ago. I was thinking this is going to be a really, really hard transition for me. And so I like to do things to help make my mornings not feel as crazy. And there's a couple of things that I've implemented last year that I'm bringing back after a relaxed summer. And they really do make a difference. We're only a couple days into this, but I can already see that these things do have an impact because I did them last year. I knew they made an impact. And just this shift, it's actually been a pretty, I wouldn't say easy shift, but our mornings have felt really, really good. So the first thing to a good morning is preparing the night before. That can reduce our stresses. It sets the tone for a calm and organized start. Now, preparing the night before, that's going to depend on you. Everything here is not cookie cutter. It's not do XYZ, follow my plan exactly. It's here's some tips, make it work for you. So what you need to prepare the night before is going to be different for each of you. But here's some examples to get you thinking, okay? Outfits the night before. I don't know about you, but there is nothing I hate more than the chaotic search for a specific clothing item when you are already 5 minutes late to school. So laying out the clothes the night before, that includes socks. That includes shoes, any accessories. I can't tell you how many times we have had to stop and look for my youngest. He is the accessory king. He loves his chains. He loves his rings. And if he doesn't have them, it is awful. So we make sure that those are all in place the night before so we don't have any wardrobe battles or issues. If you want to make sure that you've got things ready to go for lunches, ensure that your backpacks are ready. Big thing for us is making sure that my kids have their laptops or their devices, and also that they're charged and they're ready to go. So they're not showing up to school with a dead laptop or whatever. You could consider setting up a breakfast station or just kind of making sure that you know what's for breakfast in the morning, or at least options, so that when you get up and you head down there, it's an easy flow. It's not a time for you to feel overwhelmed with having to make decisions, because we all know decision fatigue is a very, very real thing. Along with preparing the night before, not only thinking about your kids and the things that they need, but also you. Are you getting ready for a workout in the morning? Do you need to make sure that you've got your clothes set out as well? I know it's like good for the kids to have that, but it's also really good for me to know what I'm jumping into, what I'm changing into first thing. Because if not, I have been known. And if you drive to my school and you see me, you know, I have been known to drive in my pajamas and in my little like a robe or like whatever. I look like a fool. It's fine. So preparing the night before eliminates that, so that if I have to actually walk my children into the school, heaven forbid, I don't have to do so barefoot and in like a slinky nightgown thing or something. I don't know, right? Like avoiding the walking into the school in your pajamas barefoot issue, right? Because those are the days when your kids actually need you to go in, or that you have to stop for gas because you forgot to do that. So prepping the night before eliminates all of these things. That will uh that will change depending on what your specific family needs. But think about the things that are going to help your morning run smoothly and prep what you can the night before. Okay. The second tip for your smooth mornings is setting the mood. And there are two specific ways that I set the mood in the morning: lighting and music, and smooth, slow wake ups. I love to get every last second of sleep out of my day, out of my nights, right? Push that snooze button, get the last possible minute. And then you're like negotiating with yourself, like, it's okay. If I don't shower, then I can have this much time. If I don't do my hair this way, I can have this much extra time. And we negotiate everything. But then when we finally roll out of bed, it's crazy. We're rushed. We have to go. The same thing with our kids. I used to be under the mentality of I want to let them sleep for as long as possible. And so I'll wake them up at the last possible second, but then we're rushing. Like I go in and wake them up and I'm like, hey, now, snap, snap, snap. We got to go now. And I've noticed that if I give them just an extra 10 or 15 minutes and I do a slower wake up, that the mood and the vibe of our home is so much better. We're not getting that like dopamine hit or serotonin hit or whatever, like stress hormone hit in the morning when mom is like, hey, you got to get up, you got to go, we got to go, you got to go. And you're feeling rushed and stressed from the second your eyes open. That is not fun. So, what I've been doing is I have my own little wake up ritual where I pull up a meditation on my phone before I go to bed, prep the night before, right? And I have it ready to go and I have my AirPods right next to my phone so that when my snooze button or when my alarm goes off, I hit snooze and then I hit play and I pop my AirPods in and I do a meditation in my bed I try to pick one that's like 5, 10 minutes, try to do under 10 minutes because that's about the same time as like a snooze. And then it slowly wakes me up. I usually try to pick something that has some good like morning affirmations or morning intention or like you can do this, like start the day. Um it's been it helps so much and it's slow, right? I get to stay in my bed and then I roll out. After I do that, I will head out, give myself a couple of minutes. 10, 15, walk outside, look at the sunrise, listen to the birds, do a couple stretches, do journal, whatever, but not a ton of time, just about 10-ish minutes. Then I come inside and I turn on music. Now, there are so many fun playlists out there. I mean, if you're on Spotify or Apple Music, literally just hit like wake up music for kids. I will pick something like spa music because I like that slow serenity. And then once they're downstairs in like the kitchen, we're getting going, I'll put on like some more like music with lyrics or fun things for the morning. But I love this trick. So I turn on some spa music, some soft, you know what I'm talking about, music, put my phone like in my pocket or just carried in, walk into the kids' rooms, slowly open up their blinds. The music is playing, the sunlight gets to like stream in a little bit. I'll walk over, rub their back. Yes, it is a lovely way to wake up and it is possible, okay? I know if your mornings are crazy and chaotic, you're thinking, oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me. This will make a huge difference, I promise, in the mood and the overall vibe and the overall rush and stress of your mornings. And, then I leave one kid's room, walk into the other room, the music is still playing, open the windows, open the blinds, let the sunlight come in. And then I head downstairs and kind of start prepping stuff. If I need to come back up and get them, like, okay, you really do need to get up, but it's still soothing. But that gives them that time to be able to have the light change and slowly wake up and not be that alarm blaring drill sergeant mom ripping off the covers kind of thing. That's such a way more calm way. So music and light. There you go. If you take one thing or two things, I guess, from this episode, utilize the power of music and lighting for your mornings and watch a huge shift. We could end it there. We won't because I have a couple more tips, but we could end it there with just that. So if you need an easy step to implement, there you go. The third thing that's going to help your mornings be less chaotic and run smoothly is by having consistent expectations for your kids and or a morning checklist if your kids do really well with that. Especially my like ADHD kids, they do really well with that because they can get so distracted going from like the thing to the thing or forget something. I can't tell you how many times we've driven to school and I'm like, did you brush your teeth? And they're like, oh no, I forgot. So having those consistent expectations, having a checklist visible is a really good way, and just having it be consistent. So if you wake up and then you have breakfast and then you do hair, like having that system kind of stay the same each day is going to help your kids know what is expected. That again is going to be different for each family. So you can take the time to figure that out for yourself. I love doing a visualization practice here where you sit and you visualize a calm, perfect morning. Literally, you can close your eyes right now, push pause, and actually don't push pause. I'll walk you through it. Okay. Close your eyes right now. And I want you to visualize a morning where you get up and you feel good and you have a little bit of time for yourself. And yeah, then you turn on that music and you go and you get your kids and your morning is running smoothly. Okay. Walk through that, visualize that for yourself, how that goes. And then you can write that out and write out the things, the checklist that needs to be done. Also getting your kids input on the things that they need to get done too, because if they have input in it, they have more ownership and they'll take more responsibility for it. So that can change based on your family and your specific needs, your kids' ages, needs, etc. Um, having a checklist displayed somewhere, if that's helpful, having visual aids if you have younger kids. You can also use apps and alarms on your phone and just have those consistently go off, which leads me into the last tip for this one, which is managing your time effectively. I have my, I would love to leave by this time. And then I have my, we absolutely have to be in the car at this time. And then anything after that, we're late and the morning has gone to hell. So you can have that in the back of your mind. You can also set alarms of like, okay, we need to be in the car. Or, okay, we need to be done having breakfast by this point. Okay, we need to be to this point in our checklist by this point. And quite literally set those alarms in your phone and have those go off until you get the hang of it. Alarms are mom's best friend sometimes. So walking through that and then seeing if you need to adjust that time as well. If you find that you're always rushing, maybe waking up 10 to 15 minutes earlier is going to be helpful. Identifying what things are like your roadblocks, like if you consistently find that, getting backpacks is the thing that keeps everyone stumbling from getting out the door. Like, oh crap, where's my backpack? Where's my backpack? Where's my backpack? Then that might be something that we go back to tip number 1 the night before and making sure those things are ready. So practice makes perfect. Practice makes progress. Because there's going to be days that's perfect. There's going to be days that's not. And then just a little bonus tip, like I said, is bringing your kids in, involving them in the morning routine, um, giving them ownership and responsibility depending on their ages. If they can get up and get going before you, if you need to be having them be more independent because you're also trying to get ready and get out the door, right? Like everything here is going to be very individualized and dependent on your own unique family. But these are some tips that you can take and implement and make them work within your own family framework. So I'll just go over those really quickly for you. Prep the night before, set the morning mood, hint, hint, music and lighting. 3, having consistent expectations and a checklist. 4, managing your time effectively using timers and alarms. And 5, involving your kids in building their routine. So there you go for how you can have smooth mornings all through the school year. Okay, but before we wrap up today's episode, we covered a lot of ground here in this episode. And we're going to cover a lot of ground with this back to school success series. And I'm sure the wheels are spinning for how you can take some of these tips and strategies and implement them in your life. And that might be leaving you feeling really empowered and really inspired and really excited, or that might be leaving you a little stressed or a little overwhelmed and feeling like you might need a little bit more guidance or you're unsure where to start. I've got something just for you, because we know that one size doesn't fit all. Every single family is unique. What works for one might not work well for another. And sometimes, I don't know if you know this about me, I'm a verbal processor, hence the podcast. Sometimes you need to verbally process with someone who gets it to help you identify what your actual problems are, whether it's your chaotic mornings, whether it's mealtime madness, whether you're struggling to implement any sort of system at all. I want to help. So I am offering 30-minute virtual strategy sessions. Where we take 30 minutes and we dive into your specific challenges, where your problem points are. We dig in nitty gritty, but really quick, 30 minutes. And together we create a customized system and solution that is tailored to your family needs. So this series and everything that I'm all about is not about adding more to your plate. It is about simplifying and creating clarity so that you can thrive, not just survive. So I'm offering these 30-minute calls for a very, very, very limited time. If you want to get in on that, if you want to get some clarity, if you want to start making some real lasting changes in your home and implement some systems that are really going to take things off your plate and bring more peace and calm and serenity and all the good things into your home, you can go book a systems and strategy call. You can click the link in the notes below, or you can head over to jessielarson.com/systems. There's a little form you can fill out to get started. Send me over an inquiry and then I will reach out to you and we'll get a call scheduled. So if that is something that interests you and you need some help and some clarity and just someone to work it out with you, I'm super excited to be jumping into these. I've done a couple over the summer. They've been so much fun and it's been awesome to see the changes and like the positivity and the goodness and the calm that they have brought into those women's lives. So jump into that if you need to. Again, link down in the show notes or jessielarson.com/systems. Thank you for hanging out with me again today. I'm so glad you pressed play. If you want to take a quick second to share this episode with someone you think would love it too, that would be amazing. If you're loving the show, make sure you go and leave a review on iTunes. Reviews are like magic for podcasts, and your review will help get this show into the ears of more amazing women just like you. And come find me over on Instagram. I'm there at positively.jessie, and I cannot wait to hang out with you some more. So until next time, have an amazing week.